Days had passed since the night that changed everything. Gao Tu had stayed home, recovering from his heat, and trying to wrestle with the whirlwind of emotions that the night with Shen Wenlang had stirred. He thought he could contain it, bury it, pretend nothing had happened. But the universe had other plans. A new revelation would shake him to his core. A life growing inside him. A secret that could destroy everything he held dear. Gao Tu sat in the hospital waiting room, hands trembling, heart racing. He had come to get a routine checkup after feeling unusual fatigue and nausea over the past few days. He hadn't told anyone, not even the closest people around him. When the doctor finally emerged, the words struck him like lightning. "Mr. Gao, you're pregnant." Gao Tu froze, every part of his body going cold. He blinked, unable to comprehend. Pregnant? How is that possible? His voice was barely a whisper. The doctor explained carefully. Omegas are highly fertile during heat. Considering your recent heat, it is possible you conceived during that night. Gao Tu's mind spun. That night, the night with Wenlang replayed in vivid detail, now tinged with fear and dread. It was just one night, and now, this. Gao Tu left the hospital, hands clutched to his stomach, trying to steady himself. The city blurred around him as panic coursed through his veins. He loved Wenlang, had loved him for 10 years, and now there was a child. If Wenlang finds out, what will he do? Gao Tu thought, heart hammering. He knew Wenlang's disdain for Omegas, his rejection of anything he deemed weak or vulnerable. He'll hate me. He'll hate the child. He might even hurt it. He remembered their night together, Wenlang's oblivious eyes, the man who had unknowingly touched his life in a way that would leave lasting consequences. Gao Tu's fingers clenched around the strap of his bag, knuckles white. I have to protect this child. I can't let him know. Not yet, not ever. Gao Tu spent the next hours in silence, pacing his apartment. His mind was a storm of fear, longing, and impossible choices. Terminate it? No, I can't. It's a part of me, a part of him, of us, even if he doesn't know, he muttered. The thought of losing a child born of his love and Wenlang's touch felt unbearable. But fear gnawed at him. If he finds out I'm an Omega, if he realizes the child is his, it could be the end of everything. My life, my friendship, our history, all gone. Even in the throes of fear, his heart betrayed him, whispering, but maybe one day, if things were different, maybe we could be a family. Gao Tu returned to work after a few days off, keeping a careful distance from Wenlang. He had to gauge the situation, test the waters without revealing too much. He needed to know the alpha's stance, to prepare for the worst. When he finally found a quiet moment, he asked cautiously, voice barely above a whisper, Wenlang, what if your Omega gets pregnant? Wenlang looked up, expression casual, almost dismissive. Get rid of it, of course. The words hit Gao Tu like a physical blow. His stomach twisted, not just with pregnancy but with fear. Kill it. He would kill my child, my unborn child. He could feel the life inside him thrumming in defiance, a fragile spark of hope amid despair. That night, Gao Tu lay awake, staring at the ceiling. The room was silent except for the occasional hum of the city outside. His thoughts raced. I have to leave. I can't let him find out. I can't risk the child's life. I have to run. I have to protect it. Every scenario played in his head. Wenlang discovering the pregnancy, the truth of Gao Tu being an Omega, the child being his, it was a chain reaction of destruction he couldn't allow. He loved Wenlang too much to hate him, too much to hold him responsible. But the child's safety was paramount. I'll leave. I'll protect the child. Even if it means leaving the man I've loved for over a decade behind, he whispered to the darkness. As he packed a small bag, Gao Tu's mind drifted to memories of Wenlang moments of quiet companionship, shared laughter, the years spent side by side. He had loved him silently, adored him from a distance, and now he had to abandon that closeness for the sake of a new life growing inside him. Tears fell freely. I never wanted to leave. I wanted him. I always wanted him. But I can't. Not like this. The weight of the secret pressed on his chest like a heavy stone. The life he carried was a miracle. Yet it was born of fear, secrecy, and a love unspoken. The next morning, Gao Tu handed in his resignation. He did it quietly, formally, without explanation. His heart ached with every word written on the paper. This was the only way to protect his unborn child. Wenlang, discovering the resignation, felt as though a blade had pierced his chest. Shock, disbelief, and pain overwhelmed him. Gao Tu, how could you leave me like this? After everything, after 10 years, after tonight. Wenlang tried calling, messaging, searching every possible way to reach him, but Gao Tu had vanished. He had left the city, leaving only a quiet echo of heartbreak and a note of finality. Gao Tu traveled far, finding a place where Wenlang could not easily locate him. Every step was heavy with longing, every mile filled with memories he couldn't shake. Yet, in his heart, he knew this was the only way to ensure the safety of the life he carried. I can't let him find out. I can't let the child be in danger. I have to survive. For both of us, he thought. Even as he hid, even as he wept for the distance he created, Gao Tu held on to hope, fragile as it was. Two lives were intertwined by secrecy, love, and fear. Gao Tu carried not just a child, but the weight of 10 years of love, unspoken and hidden. Wenlang, oblivious, was left with emptiness, confusion, and a gnawing sense of loss he could not understand. The events of that night had set off a chain reaction that neither could escape. Every choice, every secret, every fear was a thread in the web that now trapped them both. The pregnancy had changed everything. Gao Tu's fear, Wenlang's ignorance, and the unspoken bond between them created a tension that could not be undone. The stakes had grown higher, the risks greater, and the longing more intense. Gao Tu's hands trembled as he replayed Wenlang's words over and over. Get rid of it, of course. The casual cruelty in that response was like ice running through his veins. A shiver of fear gripped him, not just for himself, but for the fragile life growing inside him. The child was innocent, a tiny spark born from a night of unspoken love, yet now that spark had the power to destroy everything he had ever known. Gao Tu's mind raced with impossible questions. How could he explain a pregnancy as a beta? How could he hide that he was an omega? Panic threatened to overwhelm him, but beneath it, a quiet resolve took root. He would protect this child, no matter the cost, even if it meant leaving Wenlang, the man he had loved for over 10 years, and carrying the weight of fear and longing alone.